Do not attempt to adjust your device screen. We are in control of the broadcast. We control the horizontal. We control the vertical. The time has come. Please stand by for a live transmission from Halloween Daily News. Yes. It is that time once again. Light up those pumpkins, everybody, because we are live. It is Monday night, and you know what that means. Hello, Haddonfield, and happy Michael Myers Monday. Welcome to it. If you're new here, my name is Matt. We are Halloween Daily News, and this early summer slasher-filled soiree you just swam into the middle of is what we like to call Michael Myers Monday Live. I can't exactly say weekly lately, but our mostly weeklies most of the time, gathering celebration of all things Michael Myers, the Halloween franchise, Haddonfield, and beyond. So if you happen to be new here and just stumbled upon this, welcome. I hope you'll make yourself at home like the Shape does in Haddonfield, and let us hear from you in the live chat. And to all of our returning friends, what is up, y'all? Happy Michael Myers Monday. Man, it has been a few minutes since our last live stream, since our last gathering here on a Monday. It's been about a month, which is crazy, and I don't like to go that long without checking in with you guys, even if it's not even a breaking news week, just for a hangout and to discuss stuff, the current state of the Shape, as it were, shape of the universe. And so here we are. It is Monday, June 9th, 2025. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Like I always say, if you made it this far, through another Monday, through another week, through another month, as it were, for us, then that in itself is reason to celebrate. So here's to you guys. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Sipping on some nice warm lemon tea again this evening in my Michael Myers Every Day is Halloween mug from Spirit Halloween. Let's see real quick. Jumping over here in the live chat. I saw Megan checking in earlier. Rob Windsor, of course, in here. What's up, man? Byron Weaver is checked in. Ben Tramer in the house. What's up? Careful, don't get mistaken for any escape mental patients, Ben. What's up, Phil? Happy Michael Myers Monday. David Subert in the house, and of course, the shape himself, Michael Myers, I see silently lurking in the live chat right now. As always, super chats are open, memberships are open. It's just $5 a month to become an illustrious channel member, and there's all kind of cool perks, including exclusive giveaways and early access to a lot of our pre-recorded content, including our exclusive interviews. And I just put one up for members only right now, early access for members only. It's going to be up for everybody else a little bit later this week. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. But real quick, I just want to catch you guys up on a few things before we get into tonight's main meat of the program, because we do have a few news bites, a few merch drops and reveals since our last gathering here that we're going to go over. Maybe a flashback video or two here and there that will pertain to what we're talking about, and then our main discussion this evening, with it being Father's Day this coming weekend. You know what we're going to do. We did it for Mother's Day. We're doing it for Father's Day. We're looking at Haddonfield's best and maybe a few of the worst dads and stepdads, and maybe even just father figures in some cases. So I'm glad you're all here, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on all of that when we get there. We'll also launch a new poll. You can probably guess what the subject of that poll will be tonight. And of course, we'll do some shout outs before we get out of here at the end of the night. So thank you all for hanging out. It's going to be a fun time. And yes, I do hope to get back on somewhat of a regular schedule here. It's just been very busy, very crazy here at HDN headquarters. A lot of behind the scenes back end work going into the resurrection, the impending resurrection of our Halloween International Film Festival. This is an independent film festival featuring horror films, Halloween-themed films, and everything in between. And it's happening here in our home base on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, or what I like to call the outer limits, the outer rim, let's say, of the North Carolina coast. And we are holding our event this year at a historic venue. It is the Pioneer Theater, and this theater dates all the way back to the silent film era. It first opened in 1918. That's right, a 107-year-old theater with some true history and maybe some haunted history there as well. And you might have heard me talking about this in our last live stream. And if you follow HDN at all, then you've definitely heard us talking about it quite a bit in recent weeks, and you're going to hear about it a lot over the next few months, as I really hope that some of you guys here out on the East Coast, or that might be near North Carolina or on the East Coast, early part of October, I hope you'll make some plans to join us. It's happening the first weekend in October, starting on Thursday, October 2nd, running through Saturday, October 4th, here in Manteo, North Carolina, where the entire downtown area is going to be transformed into Halloween Island. And if you didn't see it, we just recently premiered our official artwork, and it was unveiled just last week as we're recording this. And there it is, paying tribute to the history of film, going all the way back to the actual film era, because this theater, actually a true indie film theater. Of course, some Easter eggs in there for horror fans, and just a lot of Halloween goodness in that art. But you can learn more about the event itself anytime at HalloweenDailyNews.com. Just go to the main site and hit the Film Festival tab, or just go to HalloweenDailyNews.com/Film Festival. And if you are a filmmaker, if you are friends with a filmmaker, know a filmmaker that might have an indie film that they would like to have considered, they've got about 2 more months to submit their films for consideration. We want the best of the best of the current indie circuit, especially as it pertains to horror and Halloween-themed indie films. So make your plans to join us for this epic event this October here on the Outer Banks on Halloween Island. I see some other friends have checked in. The Great Teen Wolf is in the house. What's up? Happy Michael Myers Monday. So happy to see you. The October has checked in with the countdown. Look at that. Wow, we're under 150 days now. That's great. City Kitty in the house. What's up? Happy Michael Myers Monday to you, and of course Larry Moore Jr. in the house as well. Excellent. Lots of friends checking in tonight. Great to see you guys. Again, I appreciate your patience. It's been a very busy time for us here at HDN, but a very exciting time for sure. Um, Another thing I want to remind you guys of, on the main website, the Triple M Crew exclusive 15% discount on everything in stock in our online store continues. We've extended it just for you guys. We don't push it publicly. We don't usually push discounts that high publicly, but for you guys, if any of you guys don't own any of our merch, we've still got a lot of that awesome retro wall decor. We've got a couple masks from the most recent trilogy. I think maybe one from Rob Zombie's remake, and a few other franchise-related items and some other cool just Halloween and general items. 15% off with code TRIPLEM15. That's MMM15, and that's at HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. The link is down below in the description when you get out of here and want to go shopping. Use that code to get 15% off. And I mentioned memberships real quick. One of the perks for memberships is early access to interviews. Like I said, I just a few minutes ago published our next interview that it's up for early access for members right now ahead of the public. That is an interview. I actually did 2 interviews, part of a press junket earlier today, for the upcoming film House of Abraham. It comes out this Friday, the 13th of June. And the interview that just went up is with the film's director, Lisa Belcher, and the film's writer and co-star, Lucas Hassel. And I'm obviously excited for you to check it out and to check out the movie. And of course, we had some good conversation about Halloween itself in there as well. And Lucas even commented right off the bat on my backdrop and on some of the masks here that he recognized himself. This was the setup I had for them, actually. The next interview that's coming, that's breaking news. That's a little exclusive for you guys, unless you're a member of the next one. But this is news for everybody. The next interview coming later this week, also from the House of Abraham upcoming film, is with horror icon Natasha Henstridge. That's right. You know her and remember her from the 1995 sci-fi horror classic Species. It's crazy that this year marks that film's 30th anniversary. Of course, she's done a ton of other work since then. I loved her in John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars, as a matter of fact. But we had a great conversation just earlier today, as a matter of fact, and about her lead role in the film House of Abraham. She and Lin Shaye co-star in it, 2 horror icons there. And Natasha, she was awesome to talk to. Again, very excited to share that one with you guys. And we did talk a bit about, she was kind enough to take a moment to reflect on this milestone, this 30th anniversary of Species, and just how that film changed her life and the whole trajectory of her career and everything that it's meant to her in over the past 3 decades. And, you know, of course, we got into some Halloween talk as well in that one as well. So that's another exclusive reveal just for the Triple M crew. I know not Michael Myers related exactly, but something you can look forward to and something that channel members are going to get before anybody else. So there you go, another incentive to consider becoming a channel member. All right, I'm going to take a breath and a drink of some warm tea here, check out the comments, and then we're going to get into the first of quite a few little news bites we've got to catch up on before we get into our Haddonfield Dads discussion. Larry says, Michael's here in my Laurie Strode voice from 2018. Yes, I like it. Ben Brown checked in. Species movies were wild. Yes, yes. I was just rewatching the original, prepping for this interview, actually, and reminded me how good it is. And I just, it'd been a while since I'd seen it. But yeah, very excited for you guys to check out those interviews coming later this week. Yes, sir, David Suber. Yep, you're going to look forward to this one. She was really cool to talk to today. All of them were. And she's really great in the film too, House of Abraham. Teen Wolf says Species Man. I feel like I do remember that movie, one of Gidget's Last Disguise. Yeah. All right. Is that all of the upcoming announcements? I think that's all the upcoming announcements we have for the moment for you guys. Like I said, those two interviews you can definitely look forward to coming up this week. As I've said, I am putting together a rough schedule of Triple M discussions that we're going to have throughout the summer. Obviously, news is always our main focus, and trust me, I know everybody wants an update on the TV series. Is it still happening? What's happening with it? How is the Crystal Lake series going to beat the Haddonfield series to air? But it does appear that that's going to be the case, which I'm very stoked for, by the way, that Crystal Lake series coming to Peacock. It's finally happening, if you didn't know. They're building sets. It's in production. It's going to happen. A24 taking on Crystal Lake. They already cast Linda Cardellini as Pamela Voorhees. I'm stoked for that. But yeah, I don't have any updates on the TV series right now. Don't think I'm not trying, though. Don't think I'm not digging and reaching out to what contacts I do have that do have knowledge of the situation. And as soon as there is something to report and share with you guys, trust me, we're going to have it here first and foremost for the Triple M crew. But until then, there's always some amount of franchise-related news these days. Many franchise alums, for example, are very busy. We've talked about some of Jamie Lee Curtis's upcoming projects, some of Daniel Harris, Scout Taylor Compton's upcoming projects, and other various alums. Well, our first little news bite here tonight that I want to bring to your attention, if you didn't know, involves a franchise alum of the most illustrious order, one of the men behind the mask, in fact, our friend Dig Farrick. Did you see Dig pop up in the latest music video from pop music superstar of the moment, Sabrina Carpenter? Did you guys see this? Just a few days ago, Sabrina Carpenter, I'm sure you guys know who she is. She's kind of the biggest thing in pop music at the moment. She dropped a official video for her song Man Child. And if you watched it, you might have spotted a familiar face in there dancing with her. Honestly, I had to wonder for a second when Dave first shared it. I'm like, man, that's some good CGI in there. But oh no, that is the real deal. It's not CGI. Michael Myers is dancing with Sabrina Carpenter in here, and yeah, that's a big fatty in his mouth there too. So Dave doing his thing, and I was just so stoked to see that and think it's so cool. And yeah, total shout out to Sabrina Carpenter because she's definitely one of us from working with Dig in this video. And if you remember, not long ago, she did a horror-themed video with Jenna Ortega, which also co-starred another former Haddonfield resident, Mr. Rowan Campbell from Halloween Ends as well. So, Sabrina working her way through a lot of Halloween alums. I love it. I I think it's awesome, and I just think it's awesome for Dag, friend of ours, friend of the brand, been here on Triple M Live before, been here on Halloween Daily before. So very cool to see him have such a cool presence in the video, and the video's fun, and the song's going to be a massive hit like all of hers are. So check it out if you haven't already. I did have time before we started to put the link to that music video down below in the description of this live stream if you haven't seen it yet. So check it out and let me know what you think. And then give Dag a shout out and let him know what you think on Instagram. I know he'd appreciate it. Moving right along, let's jump into some new 2025 merch news. First up is an item that we have discussed before, but at that time it had not been released. It was up for pre-order, and we had some early images of it. Now it is out. People are finding it at Walmart, at Target, and it is available online, and we have put a link in the description to where you can own the officially licensed Halloween The Curse of Michael Myers Ultimate Michael Myers 7-inch scale figure from NECA. And this is a beauty. NECA very thankfully and thoughtfully working their way through the franchise, just like I think we were all hoping they would, giving us now a Curse Ultimate figure. I love the Ultimate line. That's NECA's best line of figures, in my opinion. My favorite line is the Ultimate line of figures. And these look great. Look at some of these details. You got the syringe there that comes with it. The extra mask on the floor. You got this version of the mask where Michael's all beat up after the climax. You got the jack-o'-lantern from the porch. I mean, you've got the Michael standee and by the sold sign from Strode Realty. Just really, really cool. And again, really cool that NECA is working their way through, because what we understand is there will be more Michael figures coming soon from films that they have not done yet. So joining the Halloween 2, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. Now we've got Halloween Curse. I can only guess and hope what's coming next. But as you can see, this is retailing for about $35 and available online right now and at many physical stores. And we did include an affiliate link down below. I mean, this one, I especially love the accessories. And you guys know, I mean, regular viewers know that I like to try to keep things, kind of themed and kind of, have a recurring theme here whenever possible during our Triple M shows. So, yes, don't be surprised if we talk a little bit more about Halloween 6 tonight. Maybe even in our best and worst Fathers of Haddonfield discussion. Moving right along, though, another really cool reveal that came out a few weeks ago. This was available from Mad Duck Posters, and the artist is Kevin Tong, and we share this on our social media, but this is a new art print officially licensed from the original 78 film, and I just got to share it with you guys because it is beautiful, and it is still available. You can get high quality prints of this, and there are two variants I'll show you in just a minute, but this is the standard version and my personal favorite version. This is got all the orange autumn feel to it, but I love this artwork by Kevin Tong. You can see the Myers house reflected in the knife blade, which is a nice touch. The fall leaves are great. Like I said, the overall orange, black, and white color scheme. The mask looks awesome here. And then down here, some of the iconography that we love from the original film, including the Phelps garage, truck, the opening credits, jack-o'-lantern, the Judith Myers tombstone, of course, Laurie Strode, and Dr. Loomis with his pistol. Michael lurking in the sheets as well. They're all just really cool. And then the fence that surrounds Smith's Grove as Michael is busting out, it looks like. Really cool artwork here. And here is an alternate variant, which looks cool. You know, it's definitely got more of the nighttime feel, which is kind of the moment I think this is depicting. Michael's kind of breaking out. Of course, he's not wearing the jumpsuit in the actual breakout, so I don't know where the fence comes in, if that's what they were going for. But that's what I got from it anyway. But this feels like a nighttime shot, but this color scheme is my personal favorite. And then there is this, the black light reflective foil version. And all of these, at last check, were still in stock and available at the link in the description of this video. And in some related news, speaking of incredible art, officially licensed and inspired by the Halloween franchise, check out this recent poster by artist Gary Pullen, Ghoulish Gary, on social media. Of course, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, the 1988 10th anniversary sequel. This poster is gorgeous as well. From the color scheme, again, just the simple orange and yellows there. I love it. You get, it really kind of harkens to those opening credits that we love so much. And then the mask, you know, I've said before, you know, the H4 mask, not one of my favorites from the franchise, but this is about as good as that H4 mask has ever looked. I mean, it looks haunting and pretty terrifying right here. And I love how it just kind of bleeds into the sky and becomes kind of orange with the orange clouds as the sun's setting. Just really cool. And then, of course, all the fall leaves falling and everything. Somewhat really cool artwork right there. But that's far from all when we are talking about new merch. Because just recently launched by our friends at Spirit Halloween and available currently in stock at spirithalloween.com, though physical stores have not opened yet. They are going to be opening, by the way, in mid-August. Spirit stores are opening. But we have this new officially licensed from Halloween 2 Michael Myers neon LED light up sign, priced at $49.99. It is 16 inches high, and as you can see, it features the knife with some blood, and then half of Michael's face with the blood tear coming down. This has kind of been a thing in recent years, just the last few years. A lot of horror franchises getting these neon lights. I know Spirit's got a Trick or Treat one, and I believe an Art the Clown one as well. So, of course, Michael would be due now. And yeah, I totally can see myself owning this. I could see it hanging here in my office, being lit like somewhere back here, or maybe on the other side at some point. I could totally see adding that to my setup here in my office, in fact. Yeah, I haven't ordered it yet. I do kind of want to see it in person first on this one, but a really cool item. One of the first new Michael Myers items of 2025, might be the first new 2025 Myers product from Spirit Halloween to be launched. They relaunched that Halloween 2 animatronic, which is also currently available in stock at Spirit Halloween right now. But I think this was the first that we did um, from 2025. And one more very, very cool new merch item that has come to our attention. And again, this is something that I'm definitely going to have to get my hands on. But we have a new behind the scenes book to look forward to. This is by Andrew Grievous. It is called Horror in Haddonfield, and it is the untold stories of Halloween. And at first glance, I was like, well, is this just a compilation of quotes, existing stuff out there, but oh no, this is all new interviews that the author has compiled himself. According to the synopsis, interviews will include Ellie Cornell, Daniel Harris, Scout Taylor Compton, Stacey Nelkin, Dee Wallace, and Tom Atkins, among others. Dean Cundy is mentioned in there, director Dwight Little. So a lot of cool new interview subjects here. There's actually a few preview pages on the Amazon listing, which I have included an affiliate link to. There's an interview by Lance Guest right there from Halloween 2, of course, played Jimmy. Chapter 2, the Carpenter era. So this sounds really cool and obviously right up our alley, to say the least. And we're going to have to be on the lookout for this. It is priced at $19.99, and it is due to be released on October 7th. So just in time for Halloween itself. That's $19.99 for the paperback, or $8.99 on Kindle if that's your thing. All right, give me your thoughts on all of those new merch drops that have come our way just in the last few weeks since our last Triple M live recording. I can't wait to hear what you think. I'm going to take a breath from talking right now and warm my throat with some warm tea here and see what you guys think about those items here in the live chat. Teen Wolf says, found the H6 figure by chance at Target a month back. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a ton of people that in recent weeks have been finding it at their local Targets and some people at Walmart as well. Our local Target, well, I haven't been there in a few weeks, honestly. And the last time I was there, I don't even think I had time to go look in the collectibles area. So I'll have to check and see if it's up there. They did have the HN's Ultimate for a long time at our local one. Our local Walmart, yeah, they haven't even gotten that Blade Disgusting horror section that everybody else around the country keeps posting about, making me so jealous. Teen Wolf says that Michael's only slightly better than Freddy Krueger as a dad. Yeah, yeah. Now that's a whole discussion about Michael being a dad, but he is a Haddonfield dad. That's he is one of them for sure. Ben says that poster is gorgeous. Yeah, yeah. Both those posters I really like a lot. Ben could see myself getting that sign. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to get the neon sign ultimately. I at some point. Yeah, like I've got any space on my wall to put it, but I'll find it somewhere. I mean, the fact that it lights up and everything, it's neon. You know, I'll probably have to get the trick or treat one too. Honestly, um, Rob agrees, kind of liking the neon sign. We'll definitely check it out. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, speaking of again, Halloween 6, and and a little bit about our dad discussion as well. This ties in. You might have seen in the recent weeks while we were off from doing our live streams, I've been sharing clips from the Men Behind the Mask panel, um, in which all of the Michael Myers actors, well, not all of them, many of them that took part in that panel were there, and they were discussing their favorite kills. And so each week we've been sharing a flashback. And earlier today, we shared Mr. A. Michael Lerner's favorite kill. Of course, A. Michael Lerner played Michael Myers in portions of Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. Of course, the late great George P. Wilbur played Michael in the other portions of the film. But here we have from the epic H45 a quick, very brief flashback clip of our friend Mr. A. Michael Lerner on his favorite kill, or is it kills, from The Curse of Michael Myers. Check it out.
My personal favorite was impaling the father in the basement and into the electrical box and his head exploding. And then my second one was in the barn, impaling her on the farm machine. If you remember that, there's actually a scene where I put my hands up. It was almost like a moment of compassion. And then I pushed her onto the machine and then turned it on. Shoot her up.
Shoot her up. Shoot her up. Definitely two of the best kills in that film for sure. And I love that you know he talks about that Jamie Lloyd death, and Michael's brutality there, because it is brutal, and that is such a weird moment when it is almost like maybe he's going to have a moment of compassion, but oh hell no, not to be. You can, of course, watch all of our coverage from that panel and all of our coverage from all the panels and so much more from the H45 experience elsewhere here on the channel. We have a whole playlist set up with Halloween 45 coverage, and you can read my interview with A. Michael Lerner that I did back at H40 in 2018. That's a written interview, not a video interview, but I urge you to check that out at HalloweenDailyNews.com as well if you haven't already. All right, guys. I'm going to play a pre-recorded video for just about 2 minutes here while I catch my breath, and then we are going to get into our discussion of Haddonfield's best and worst dads. So let's do this. Hey, everybody. Round of Stone Love News designs are available, many different styles, colors, all sizes, including the original HDN Classic, our special Triple M Crew design for the Michael Myers Monday regulars out there, and our brand new What Would John Carpenter Do design. All of these are available, like I said, multiple sizes, colors, and styles on t-shirts. And that's not all. We've got other merch available, like mugs and stickers and lots of other cool stuff. Check it out now at the merch link in the description of this video. All right, we are back. We are live. It is Michael Myers Monday, June the 9th. I see some more of our friends have joined us. What's up, Erica? Happy Michael Myers Monday to you. And I think I saw, yep, Darlene is checked in as well. Happy Triple M. Let's see. Rob says the H6 figure is dead on with awesome accessories. It's awesome. Was thinking getting a second one to take out the box and display it. Yeah. I mean, you know me, I always got to take my stuff out of the box. I mean, pretty much always. There's been a very few items I've kept in for various reasons, but yeah, in general, I got to take it out, play with all the accessories, set it up, photograph it, video it, all that stuff. But I agree that all those alternate masks, seeing those close-up official photos from NECA now, just gorgeous. Just really great. Teen Wolf says, was at Spencer's yesterday. Didn't see anything specifically Halloween. Chances are it's still early for the company to release anything in physical stores. Yeah, hopefully we're going to see some more. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some other surprises coming from Spirit. One item, well, two items I'll predict, and we'll see if I turn out to be right about this. From Spirit, I think we're going to get, excuse me, guys, I got to adjust my seat a little bit. There we go. And I have no idea if this is going to happen, but I bet you, because last year, if you'll recall, 2 years ago, they did the horror babies. They've always done the zombie babies. They did the horror babies. It was like Ghostface, Leatherface, Pennywise. Then last year, they did that first wave with Ghostface, Leatherface, Pennywise as mini horror babies, and they released a second wave of new regular-sized, life-size horror babies, which were Michael Myers and Sam from Sugar Sugar. Or, no, excuse me. Sam was part of that first wave. It's Ghostface was part of the new wave. I think this year we're going to get mini versions of those. I think that's just a given. I think the regular size will be back. I think the mini versions. But the new Myers product that they busted out a few characters last year, and if Spirit, goes with how they normally go, they'll expand the line because they were successful. I think, and I hope, we're going to get a Michael Myers blow mold. You'll recall last year we got that Sam blow mold. We got the Ghostface blow mold. They're kind of the first licensed horror character blow molds from Spirit. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we get the shape in blow mold form to go along with that Sam that I picked up last year. So, there's two of my guesses for upcoming Myers-related Spirit drops. We'll see if I'm right about that. Teen Wolf says, I firmly believe Michael tore Jamie apart because she stole his son from him. Literally the whole movie, he's hauling like crazy and just berserk. He wants his baby and he wants him now. Hey, that begs the question, is Michael one of Haddonfield's best dads? One of Haddonfield's worst dads? That's certainly part of the discussion here. So let's get into that. You guys will recall just not too long ago, we had a lot of fun discussing on the occasion of Mother's Day some of Haddonfield's best and worst moms. And, it's kind of one of those things where at first glance you're like, well, there's not even that many mothers in the films, but then you kind of start thinking about it and going through each one and think, well, there are more than you think about. We came up with quite a few, and in general, most of them are filed in the good mom, trying their best category, with a couple exceptions. And I'd say the most is going to be the same for most of these dads, with a couple exceptions. And we're not going to go in exact like best to worst or worst to best order here, but just like I did with the moms, I am going to say my personal pick for my favorite Haddonfield dad till the end. And we'll go ahead and lead off with one that is definitely my least favorite. I'd say probably is my least favorite, not probably, is my least favorite. So let's start with very possibly Haddonfield's worst dad. And I don't know why my screen just locked up there, but there he is. You know who I'm talking about. You recognize him. Again, keeping the Halloween 6 theme somewhat going here. Of course, John Strode. One of the most loved to hate characters in Haddonfield history, can we say? I think so. I mean, brilliantly played by Bradford English, right? I mean, gosh, I mean, that guy acts the hell out of the role and is very believable as just this asshole dad who's just so cruel to his wife and daughter and to Danny and neighborhood kids and all. But as we just saw the great A. Michael Lerner talking about, never fear, because Michael's gonna give him his due in absolutely one of the best dad death scenes in the history of the Halloween movies. Maybe one of the best kills ever in the films. Definitely one of the best in H6, The Curse of Michael Myers. John Strode's demise. Yeah, from what we see on screen, I don't see a whole lot of redeeming qualities to him. So this is one of those times where we always are kind of cheering for Michael to kill, even when it's characters that we love. But if it's a character we're not so crazy about, well, kind of makes those deaths even a little more sweeter sometimes. So this one, for those reasons, definitely one of the sweetest kills in the history of the franchise. And we're also including stepdads in this countdown. I'm a dad. I'm also a stepdad, so I feel like I have the credibility to be able to talk about this a little bit. And so we got to throw in Ronnie White from the Halloween remake, giving stepdads a bad name since 2007. Of course, again, brilliantly played by the great William Forsythe. But man, is there anything likable about this guy? I guess his colorful turn of phrase sometimes. If you can look at profanity as a work of art, which it is in a sense, to beauty's in the eye of the beholder, of course. But again, what a moment when young Michael takes it to this character, a character that we never had any clue about before this. The closest we had to a Michael's dad was Michael's dad in the original film. And, I talked about Michael's mom in the original film when we were looking at mothers. And, it's always kind of struck me as Carpenter's panning out. And I know they're kind of frozen because it's like a, it's like a diorama where they're just frozen in time. And, kind of they're just stunned reaction and then lack of presence throughout the rest of the film. Always kind of jarring. And, but Rob Zombie certainly gave us a father figure to Michael's evil right there. All right, so again, now we'll go back a little bit and go through somewhat chronologically. The first dad we see in the original film is Michael's dad, and but we don't get too much time with him. Don't really get to see him do too much other than just not be around after that. And if you're following the H2 canon, then they put Laurie up for adoption, of course. And then there's this dad. How about this guy? I know a really blurry picture here. Apologies for that. But this, of course, Laurie's dad. Morgan Strode, as he was eventually named. He didn't really have a name other than just Laurie's father in the credits of the original film, and then it was in the novelization where he was given a name, but it was actually Chester Strode in the novelization, and it wasn't until Halloween 2 in a deleted scene that they actually refer to him at some point as Morgan Strode. So Mr. Strode, Laurie's dad, for lack of a better term, who, we don't really see him do too much we can judge as far as his parental skills. Can't really fault him for having Laurie, drop the keys off at the Myers house. Although, knowing what we know now, it does kind of set the entire movie into motion and everything that happens afterwards. And so he is kind of the catalyst for all that. If he wasn't a real estate agent selling the Myers house, Laurie and her friends would have conceivably had a very, very different Halloween night in 1978. Or would they have? Was it always fate that they couldn't escape? That the shape was going to come for them no matter what? And speaking of Laurie's dad, how about Laurie's other dad, her adopted dad in Rob Zombie's remake again? Now, Dee Wallace's Cynthia Strode took the top spot of my favorite Haddonfield mom, because Dee Wallace is kind of the ultimate movie mom, especially for us genre fans. And I said then I just loved her interactions with Laurie and with her husband in the film, and same here. We see a little bit less of him, and he's not quite the presence that Dee Wallace is, but I loved their chemistry. I loved their interactions. I loved just how believable he was, just as this dad, not oblivious to things or anything, but just not aware of the danger that lurks literally right outside his front door, which well, we know how that goes. And how about this stat? From Halloween 4 and 5, we are introduced to a new sheriff, Sheriff Meeker. Of course, Kelly Meeker's dad, and played by Beau Starr in those films. Certainly, he's no Brackett, but he does, carry some authority with him in those films. Not very good at keeping a close eye on Kelly until the end, when they kind of lock her down a little bit, I guess. But Sheriff Meeker, I'd say he's a good dad. He's trying, and once they know that the boogeyman is out there, yeah, they're taking it seriously. And then, of course, he comes back in Halloween 5 as they're kind of trying to bring down Michael again. And we assume the Man in Black takes out Sheriff Meeker at the end. Is that his ultimate end? I guess it is, as far as we know. They didn't really show it on screen, at least not that I remember. I think it was, again, part of the deleted scene, so maybe in the producer's cut, or excuse me, not the producer's cut, the deleted scenes on that recent 4K that was released of Halloween 5, that might be in there. But what do you guys think? What's your take on Sheriff Meeker? And then how about this dad from Halloween 2018? Allison's dad, Ray, of course, married to Karen, and he's taking jujitsu, and he's setting mouse traps and getting peanut butter on his junk. And again, though, I think he means well. I think he's just so in over his depth. Uh, my biggest issue with him that happens every time is I'm always astonished that uh, he and Karen, we assume, have been together at least as long as Allison has been born and been around, and so for like 16, 17, 18 years, right? And yet uh, she never told him any of how Lori, trained her as a child, and like the underground. Even if she wasn't going to tell him about the whole underground, under the kitchen part of the house, I would have thought that she would have told him some bit of this is this is what I was telling you about my mom training me up to face the boogeyman when I was little. Again, not fair to say oblivious to everything, but kept in the dark about some things for sure, and definitely, sadly, tragically unaware and uninformed, and taking matters not seriously enough, or if he was taking it seriously enough, a little too late. Lori was trying to warn him, and maybe he should have taken her just a little bit seriously a little bit sooner. But you guys tell me what you think about old Ray. And here's another one from the recent trilogy, a legacy character, now a dad, Lonnie Elam, of course played by Robert Longstreet in Halloween Kills. And I gotta say, I loved Longstreet's portrayal of Lonnie. It's not the way I thought they were gonna go with Lonnie. I mean, I did kind of in my head predict that, yeah, maybe, in this retelling, it's gonna be Tommy that's not a bully, but more the hardened character, and Lonnie has softened, whereas Lonnie was, the aggressive bully back when they were kids. And that is kind of, in a lot of ways, the way they went with it, ultimately. But I loved his portrayal, and I especially loved his relationship with Cameron. That film, HK, it transforms at least my view of Cameron. I wasn't sympathetic to him at all in 2018. I was happy to see Allison dump him in 2018, honestly, but then he comes back and kills and make us all feel somewhat gutted when Michael takes him out. And so, yeah, I love Longstreet. I love when he gets that call from Cameron, and he immediately just jumps to, takes it seriously, and it's like, yeah, what do you need? And we're rolling with it. And so, again, part of his portrayal, part of it is his portrayal, part of it is just how it's written, I guess. But I really liked what they ultimately did with Lonnie, and the more I watch it, the more I like it. Like I said, on the first viewing, it was like a little bit like what I had saw, but they still kind of surprised me in other ways. So, but yeah, I like Lonnie. I think he's a good dad. He goes in there. I wish we had seen his death on screen. I wish we had seen that, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, we don't get to see that. We don't get to see Michael stuffing him up in the attic. But props to Lonnie. R.I.P. Lonnie. Now, again, I said we're also including dads. We're talking about stepdads. Here's one from the most recent film, Halloween Ends. Another Ronnie, if you will. This is Ronald from Halloween Ends, Corey's stepdad. And again, if you've read the novelization, it goes much more into Corey's home life. We talked about that with his mom, who's really despicable and terrible and abuses Corey in so many ways, and is really pretty abusive to Ronald. And Ronald, for the most part, I mean, he's kind of just there and somewhat helpless, and just I get the impression he's just kind of more or less given up on life, more or less, and just but his most redeeming stuff, and why I like him in the movie and really kind of rank him as one of Haddonfield's best dads, is how he does treat Corey when he doesn't have to and when everybody else is kicking him around. I mean, he does give him that motorcycle, which is awesome, and that's kind of a huge bit of freedom for that character. And then, of course, there's later on in the film one of my favorite moments when he just says that, kind of off the wall, very unexpected, very unlikely line of, I believe it's, I hope you find love. And it's just, but I think because of his life choices and where he's at with Corey's mom and all of this, that's like a weirdly genuine moment, and just obviously a very David Gordon Green moment within these the most David Gordon Green of the three David Gordon Green Halloween films. But Ronald gets a lot of points from me for looking out for Corey, although Corey ultimately did not return the favor and let Ronald get shot in the head. All right. Now we are getting into the home stretch here. Now, of course, we as we're discussing dads. I mean, we're not going to talk about every single one. There are plenty of others. We've got to address that Michael Myers himself is a dad. Maybe an overly aggressive dad, not wanting to share any custody. Again, I'm glossing over the obvious incestual themes here, but as messed up as that is, as one of our viewers said, a lot of that movie, Curse of Michael Myers, is Michael just busting ass trying to get his son back, and literally is so brutal with Jamie and that theatrical cut death. So, but does that qualify him as a good dad? Yeah, I don't know if I can put him in that category. But when it comes to good dads, favorite dads in Haddonfield, kind of iconic dads, when I started thinking about it, kind of when I was thinking about the moms, it's like ultimately, well, yeah, there's really only one choice when I really started looking at for my own personal thoughts on it. And so you guys tell me what you think. But when it comes down to it, for me, Haddonfield's dad of the year has got to go to Sheriff Brackett, right? And yeah, I know right off the bat there's memes and jokes all the time I see online, people sharing of how Sheriff Brackett, he's the town sheriff and he couldn't even smell the weed in the car right after Lori and Andy got done smoking it. They rolled the windows down. And well, my response to that, in all honesty, again, as a dad and everything, I would say I choose to view it as not that he was a bad cop or a bad dad that couldn't smell that. He was a cool dad that could smell it and let it go because there were other more important things to be done, like finding out who just broke into Nichols Hardware store. So that's the way I choose to look at that scene, not at his ignorance to it, but at his willful looking the other way. In which case, he's pretty awesome in that respect. Of course, there's this great scene where he gives us one of the most iconic lines in the whole film, with everybody's entitled to one good scare. I mean, it's on all the shirts, on all the posters, everywhere. And it's just, iconic in every way. And for this franchise and just for film in general, you've got the great Charles Cyphers, who was so awesome in the role and in so many John Carpenter projects over the years, like Escape from New York and Assault on Precinct 13 and The Fog. And of course, he does come back in part 2 briefly and is understandably destroyed when he sees Annie dead. And we find out that he soon after retired. But that's not all we would see of the late great Charles Cyphers in the Brackett role because he did resurface one more time as an employee at Haddonfield Memorial Hospital in, of course, Halloween Kills. And I absolutely loved his reemergence in that film. I love all the legacy characters they brought back, and wish we could have seen more of all of them, including Nancy Stevens and Charles Cyphers, of course. But I just love that it was part of it, and that this is now, it's unfortunate that he's not with us anymore, but it's kind of cool that his final screen role was Sheriff Brackett one more time in a Halloween movie. He got to say his iconic line again in this epic moment, in this climactic moment. Yeah, I thought all that was really awesome, really cool. Love Brackett, love Cyphers as Brackett. He's just awesome. But he's not the only Brackett, is he? There's also the great Brad Dourif, who also did a masterful job, in my opinion, of playing the same character, Sheriff Lee Brackett, in Rob Zombie's films. I thought his portrayal in both films at every turn was great. It's some of Brad's best acting, and he always does great performances. So, he's always great as Chucky, of course, but I love his on-screen work and stuff like the Lord of the Rings films and just so many different things over the years. I think he's awesome. And I've talked about it on here before, but that scene in Halloween 2, after Danielle Harris as Annie has been killed by Michael, and Brackett gets the call, and they said it's at your house, and he says, "You better drive." And oh my God, we know what he's going to walk into. He kind of knows. We all kind of. Nobody knows how horrible it's going to look when he gets there. But his acting, it sends shivers. I'm getting shivers now just talking about it. His performance in that scene is chilling to the bone. It is heartbreaking, tear-inducing, Oscar-worthy. It's everything. It's one of the best scenes. Absolutely one of the most emotional moments in any of the Halloween films. Definitely the most impactful, emotional moment in that film, easily. But like I said, I'd say that it is one of the best scenes out of all 13 of the Halloween films. Honestly, just an amazing performance, and again, just like with Cypher's version of Brackett, there's never much I'm disagreeing with. Brackett at one point, it takes him a while to warm up to Loomis and what Loomis is talking about, but again, understanding it from where he's coming from, it would sound like a bit of a madman to have Loomis come up there and be saying everything that he's saying. Now, Loomis, too, it could be argued, and the Rob Zombie version of Loomis even says it at one point in the dialogue, but it could be argued that Loomis is a father figure to Michael Myers as well. In which case, he probably didn't do a very good job considering how everything turned out. He kind of let Michael drive him a bit mad, I guess. So there you have it. Just a few of Haddonfield's best and worst dads from the years and from the 13 films. Again, this is not an exhaustive list. I know there are others that we've not talked about and some that we've only briefly talked about. And that's why now I'm going to turn the discussion over to you guys, both here watching in the live chat and anybody watching later down in the comments below. I want to hear from you, your opinions on the dads that I've laid out here, the ones that I've overlooked or haven't spent enough time on. I want to hear from you guys and give me your opinion on them. Who is Haddonfield's best dad? Who's Haddonfield's worst dad? Who's your favorite dad, stepdad, or father figure in the Halloween franchise multiverse. Can't even call it a universe because it's technically kind of multiverses here. Choose your own adventure, right? But again, just like with the moms, the more we the more we look at it, the more dads there are, and the more interesting dads, and how many play such an important part to it. So I look forward to hearing your thoughts on all of this in the comments below, and right now, right here in the live chat. If I can pull up the live chat again. Let's jump over here and see what you guys are thinking on Haddonfield's best and worst dads. Let's see here. Teen Wolf says, think in one novelization of the first Halloween movies, even Michael's dad was awful. Definitely need to look it up, though. Oh, you mean awful, similar to how he's portrayed in Rob Zombie's as the stepdad. Yes, Teen Wolf. Technically, Dr. Loomis is Michael's surrogate father. He raised him in the asylum. That's right. Byron says Meeker is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I always like Meeker. He didn't take as much convincing as Brackett does in the first film. You know, he does. You know, once Loomis gets into town, he does ultimately say, "All right, let's do some patrols." And Byron agrees. Corey's dad, Ronald, was really cool. Also, yep, I like that. Mitchell Kindly has checked in. What's up, man? Long time no see. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Byron says, Matt, Lonnie was a well-written character in Halloween Kills. I agree. I thought Lonnie was really well-written and excellently performed by Longstreet. Ben Brown says, Halloween Kills is one of those rare movies where I like it even more with each rewatch. Same here, man. I mean, it has not gotten old for me yet. I mean, I know it's kind of off the wall, and it's got, it's got some weirdness to it, but I love it. I love it. I it's kind of my go-to viewing experience of the recent three right now. I think Kills is just a fun rewatch, like you say. Seeing Halloween Kills opening night in theater in full Myers cosplay with an enthusiastic crowd was one of my favorite theatrical experiences as Ben. Yeah, sounds magical, man. Sounds like you did it right. And you'll remember it forever like that. Byron says, I low-key wanted Ronnie to survive. Ronnie from the remake. That's funny. Aha, one of our illustrious channel members, the great Richard, has checked in. What's up, Richard? Thank you so much for being here, man, and thank you for your support being a channel member. He says, I have watched Halloween Kills many times, and I will agree it gets better each time. Hell yeah, a lot of Kills love in here tonight. Yeah, I love it. It's got a great soundtrack. It's got, again, the legacy characters. I love the Silver Shamrock kids that go trick-or-treating and pranking the Johns at the Myers house. I love that. Because, of course, if trick-or-treaters are going to prank the Myers house, of all the houses, they got to be wearing, of all the masks, they got to be wearing the Silver Shamrock masks. I love those details. And I loved interviewing all three of those kids. Check those out if you haven't already. They're great. The kids are great. I mean, I think the interviews are great, but the kids are great, I think. Ben Brown, very sorry he passed last year. Oh, yeah, talking about Charles Cyphers. Richard agrees. Yep, he passed last year. Teen Wolf says H2 was awful, but Brad was the best part of it, seeing him finding Annie. And the footage of Danielle when she was a kid. Oh, yeah. Rob just putting just a tiny bit of Danielle, that split second, or it might have been a second or two of Danielle as a kid at the time, at the age of when she would have been making Halloween 4 and 5, like around age 10 or so. And I always say that him doing that is really stabbing us in the heart, because he's purposely knowing that for us Halloween fans, yeah, it's Annie, but it's also Danielle, so it's also Jamie, and so I really think, and I've never heard Rob say this out loud. I'd love the opportunity to ask him what his thought of putting that in there was. He'd probably just say he just wanted to, make us think of her as a little girl, I guess, the way her dad would think of her, maybe. But no, I think it's to remind us that's our Jamie Lloyd. That is Danielle, and that just guts us even more. But yeah, Brad's performance, so good. Definitely the best part of that. Gotta agree. Josh Baker's checked in. What's up, man? Happy Michael Myers Monday. Hey, better late than never, man. You're here. T-Wolf says Michael's biological dad was violent. Michael inherited the rage from his dad's side, and if my memory is right, he beat Laurie for saying Michael's name and forced Michael's mom to never see her son again. Very interesting. Okay. Now, is all that in the original novelization? Mitchell Kindly, another Jack-o'-lantern. What's up, man? Mitchell Kindly, a $1.99 super chat. What's up, man? Again, good to see you in the house. Welcome. Happy Michael Myers Monday, and thank you so much for the support. Richard says, brain dead here. Can't think of his name. Liked Officer Brackett in Rob Zombie's Halloween. Yes, Brad Dourif. Ah, Byron, yeah, you wanted Ronald from Inns to survive. Yes, I thought you meant Ronnie from the remake for a second. Yes, yeah, I love Ronald from Inns, and I wanted him to survive too. I thought that was extra tragic when Corey just kind of, becomes the shape more or less and dissociates, and Ronald, despite it was almost a like, I was good to you, Mikey type thing, although Ronald doesn't do that. But that's kind of me in the audience saying, he was good to you, Corey. He was trying, at least. I mean, I guess to be really good to him, he could have, like, reported the mom, maybe, or something like that. All right. Phil says, just love Halloween kills. Lots of kills love in here tonight. I love it. Josh says cinematography and lighting in kills is amazing. Josh Smith has checked in. Josh Smith 1031. What's up, man? Happy Michael Myers Monday. And Mitchell, thank you again. Everybody, raise a toast to the great Mitchell Kindly. Every little bit helps us keep the lights on here at HDN headquarters, so we definitely appreciate and welcome any and all support, be it a super chat, a channel membership, a merch purchase, or all of the above. Okay. Teen Wolf says, that history of Michael's dad was in one of the other novelizations. I was going to say, because I don't remember it in the original. I didn't think so. But yeah, the H2 or H4 novelizations I've not read, so that makes sense that they would have explored that more in there. And I do recall hearing something that H4 novelizations goes into more of that. Maybe that's the one. If anybody knows for sure, that would be great. Let us know. The curse mentioned in H1 novelization that inspired H6. Yes, now they do mention that ancient bloodline curse kind of in the very beginning of the original novelization. And yes, that is definitely a link to where writer Daniel Farrens was coming from with Halloween 6 for sure. Larry says that Corey blowtorch kill was insane. Oh, absolutely. It was brutal. Yeah, that whole junkyard scene is really good. Even though it's technically Corey there doing his best Michael, I love it, and just the soundtrack. I mean, it's just really pumping during that scene, and we get to see some more assholes and get what they got coming, but not Ronald. He was not an asshole. That's why it was so sucky. But even though he was good to him, like Danny Trejo in the '07 remake. Before we look at poll results and launch this week's poll officially, although it's already launched, I'm going to play one more very short flashback clip. And this one is with, again, I like to keep it on theme here, the late, great Charles Cyphers. And this is just a clip of him talking about working on the original Halloween and also working with the late, great Donald Pleasence. And this is from a decade ago, y'all. This clip was from 2015, almost exactly 20 years ago. It was actually August of 2015 when Sue and I attended Flashback Weekend horror convention in Chicago. And lots of Haddonfield folks were there, including Charles Cyphers. That's where we met him, and that's where this clip comes from. So check it out. It's only about 2 minutes, and then I'll be right back in to launch this week's poll and look at our previous Triple M poll results.
I first worked for John in Assault on Precinct 13. And,
give it up for Assault on Precinct.
And then I sort of became part of his repertory company. And 5 or 6 movies later, or 7, it was great. And I never did work with Tom in terms of a director, but that could be coming. You never know.
You got a lot of time left.
Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to know what it was like working with Donald Pleasence.
I guess I worked quite a bit in film, and oh, thank you. Actors. You're only as good as sometimes the people you work with, because they bring you up, and he was just terrific to work with. I mean, to bounce off of. So, I did the looks he could give you. It was a joy, purely a joy, and I'm really grateful I had an opportunity to work with him.
And there we are with Mr. Charles Cyphers from that same weekend a decade ago. And I still wear that same Haddonfield High School t-shirt all the time as well. But yeah, he looks great there. He was great there that weekend. It was a pleasure meeting him. I never got to interview him exactly. We met for this photo and got to speak for a few minutes, but unfortunately never got to officially go on the record with him. So it's just one of those few Haddonfield alums. I've been so lucky and fortunate in my life to and in my career through HDN to be able to interview so many of the creators of these movies, be it the directors, the writers, the stunt people, and of course so many of the actors and actresses. And he's one I never got to interview. So George Wilbur, another one, unfortunately never got to interview before he passed. Got to meet them both and get some cool photos and talk to them a little bit, which is certainly wouldn't trade that for anything. But so there you go. That's my pick for Haddonfield's Top Dad. You guys tell me what you think. Now, just a few minutes ago, we launched this week's poll, which I'm sure you can, you're not surprised to know that it is asking your favorite Haddonfield dad character. And when last we hung out and did this, we did look at Haddonfield's best and worst moms on the occasion of Mother's Day, and we left you with a poll at that time. So let's go ahead and take a look at those results. Coming in fourth place here is Deborah Myers from Halloween 07. Seventh place, excuse me, third place with 7% is Cynthia Strode from Halloween 07, who was my pick for number one. Shows how much you guys agree with me. In second place is Laurie Strode from 2018. But taking the win here with the 68% of the vote is Laurie from H2O. And again, I said that as far as a mother, I kind of like H2O version of Laurie over 2018. But overall, as a character, just as a fan, I prefer 2018 version of Laurie. That's my favorite version. Looking at the comments, Bartholomew, I love that name, says D. Wallace is forever movie mom to me. I gotta agree there. Jackson Lamar picks Laurie Strode from 2018. Horror aficionado says, curious what film comes next. This isn't really about the moms. Richard, our newest channel member, says Laurie Strode 2018. David Hyam says Laurie Strode in H2O. Erica says Halloween H2O. Sheepa Light says Happy Halloween. All right, well, there you go. Happy Halloween. Like I said, this week's poll launched, about 30 minutes ago as we're recording this now. So it is up there when you get done here discussing. Then go over there and cast your vote, and we'll look at the results during our next live stream during the next Michael Myers Monday. Already got a few votes in there, and the two sheriff brackets, the two version of bracket, are currently tied for the lead out front early. What's up, Tim? Happy Michael Myers Monday. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Byron says he could see me and Lonnie from Kills hanging out. I'll take that as a compliment. I could see that too. Byron loved all the novels. Yeah. I gotta get H2 and H4 and H3 for sure. The recent trilogy, man, a lot of good stuff in there. We got to do go back and focus in on each of them. That was my intent, to go through each one and look at all the differences in the movies. And again, news and life have happened in the meantime, and before you know it, hey, it was like 2 years ago when Ends came out. 3 years ago now. See, I'm still behind, saying 2 years. All right, it is officially after midnight. Let's jump over here before we get out of here for the night and do a couple social media shout outs. Of course, everybody, we always encourage you, use the hashtag Michael Myers Monday Live. You know, I forget what app I was on, maybe Instagram or something, and I was looking for the Michael Myers Monday hashtag, and then for the first time I noticed there was an AI generated description of what Michael Myers Monday is. And I mean, I didn't write it. I don't know where it came from. Kind of scary, but it was kind of correct. It was pretty much correct in what it described. I should pull that up. Maybe next week I'll pull it up and we'll look at it. It was just kind of jarring to see that, but seeing it everywhere. But anyway, I digress. Let's start in the blue sky. We are on all the social media apps, including Blue Sky. If you're over there, follow us. We're Halloween Daily News everywhere. And you just got to look for us and use that hashtag, and feel free to tag us on Mondays. This comes from Connie Satterfield. Hashtag Michael Myers Monday. He's the real thing. And see Michael rocking on a Coke can. Pretty cool. And shout out to Coke too. I don't know why, other than I like Coke better than Pepsi. Sorry if you don't. But Spooky Gage, we're over here on Threads now. Spooky Gage, always posting on Michael Myers Mondays. Here they've got a new post that says, Happy 23rd Michael Myers Monday of 2025. Wow. This is one of my favorite makeup palettes, and I'm obsessed with the cover and the colors. Very cool. This is a collectible I don't own. Michael Myers makeup palettes. Check it out. Very cool collectible. Officially licensed from Halloween 2. Jumping over to TikTok. This is from Psycho Butcher. Giving some Halloween 4 love. Got the mask, got the bust, got the Blu-ray. Rocking this as their favorite horror movie. That mask looks great in that lighting, by the way. Another one from TikTok here. This one posted earlier today by Maniac Funks, unboxing the 112 Michael Myers Halloween 2, and some great shots of this 112 collective Michael Myers officially licensed H2 collectible figure. Looks really great. And jumping over here to Instagram, posted by our friend, the legend, the man himself, the shape himself, Mr. James Jude Courtney says, hashtag Michael Myers Money, hashtag Michael Myers Monday, getting into shape with the master, Christopher Nelson, on the set of Halloween Kills. Speaking of kills, and shared some awesome behind-the-scenes shots. Look at that makeup. We see so little of it in the finished film, and what we do see, I love, but look at that makeup job. Two legends of Haddonfield right there. And I love, too, that in this shot, you can even see Christopher Myers' tattoo on his arm that he's using to like blow dry the prosthetic on James's face. That is great. Really cool shot. Thank you, Mr. Courtney, for sharing those behind the scenes images today. And happy Michael Myers Monday to you as well. And one more for this week from the old Graham, and bringing it back to where we started with our boy Great Dig at Great Dig Official. Of course, Dig Ferrick, young Michael Myers in the remake. And here he is cutting it up with pop music superstar Sabrina Carpenter in her new video. You gotta love that. And like I said, I think she's one of us, y'all. I think she's a horror fan. I think she's a Myers fan specifically. Working with Dig, working with Rowan. I'm ready for her to put Danielle, Scout, and maybe some James Jude Courtney in one of the videos now, right? All right, you guys know what's up. Every Monday we celebrate Michael Myers Monday since we started that hashtag way back in 2013. Started it as a hashtag just to celebrate this fandom, and now it's a live show, and it's on all the socials, and everybody's taking it and running with it. And of course, we can't give everybody shout outs, but tag us when you post, give us a shout out, and whatever social media you're on, and you never know, you might get featured here during the live stream and get a shout out on Michael Myers Monday. Richard says, I think I missed the poll for Fathers. Well, no, we just launched the Fathers one actually just tonight. Yep. We just launched that one while I was here yapping to you guys. We launched that one. So check that out when you get a chance. Look for my House of Abraham interviews coming this week, starting with director Lisa Belcher and the writer and co-star of the film, Lucas Hassel. That one is available for early access to channel members right now as we speak. It'll be up for the public tomorrow. And then later this week, don't miss my exclusive one-on-one interview with horror icon Natasha Henstridge, of course, of the Species films, of John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars, of many other genre films over the years. It's an awesome interview. I'm very excited to share with you guys. And of course, channel members will have early access to that one before anybody else as well. So one more reason to think about becoming a channel member. And like I said, if you are going to be shopping for any of our merch, head over to HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. Use code MMM15 and get 15% off everything in stock right now. And you can also get HDN official merch from our spring store, which is also located in the description of this video. All right, everybody, it's after midnight. It's officially Tuesday here on the East Coast. Not that that means that we're ever not celebrating Michael Myers, just like there's never a time where we're not celebrating Halloween around here. But it is after midnight, so I'm going to get out of here, go rest up for tomorrow. You guys, lots of cool stuff coming this way. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of it. I promise we got a lot of cool stuff. This has been great. I'm sorry for all of the weeks off. I think we're going to get back on a somewhat more regular schedule here this summer, moving into Halloween season. Lots to discuss, lots to talk about. You're not going to want to miss any of it. Until then, I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you all for watching. And of course, a very happy Michael Myers Monday. Good night, Haddonfield.